What's up, J Fusion fans? This is Philip, and welcome back to another video. So, episode 28 of Kamen Rider Saber is going to be a very important episode for the series. Now, speaking of which, I have just seen that episode today, and no, there's so many things happening in that. Episode, I would actually like to focus on it on this video. So, because there are so many things that are important and related to the overall plot of Kamen Rider Saber, I would like to place probably some major spoiler alerts, at least for this episode. I know I shouldn't be spoiling a lot, but I would like you to I would like you guys to enjoy the show as well. So when it comes out, but I just have to make this video because of what's happening. So uh, if you guys are not into spoilers, I am giving you this opportunity to either pause this video and watch the episode when it comes back or when it's out, and then come back to this one so you get what I'm saying, or wait or watch the video first, and probably by the time you are already watching this video, you've already seen the episode. But either way, this is your opportunity to turn back and then come back to this video when you're done watching. Otherwise, uh, please be ready for major spoiler alerts. Okay, now that it's out of the way, let me move on with the video. So, this is actually going to be more of like uh, the writers telling us what could probably happen in episodes of Kamen Rider Saber going forward. So I am going to list a few major important plot points in this episode. Of course, we have the introduction of the final swordsman of Logos. So it's Kamen Rider Durandal. And if you want to know more about Kamen Rider Durandal, I am going to link it down in the description so you guys can see it as well. So now that Kamen Rider Durandal is introduced, so we are going to see all of the riders in action. Of course, uh, with him being loyal to Master Logos, he is one of the writers that are completely loyal to him. So it would be interesting to see his story. So again, his story, we're going to learn about his reasons for fighting and such. So we are, of course, going to see him go against the other swordsman riders. But yeah, for now, it's just an introduction, and he will actually transform in episode 29. So that would be next week uh, from this day of recording. So watch out for that. So Master Logos had also mentioned like the four wise men, I believe. So he called them Kenjin. So they seem to be like a group of four people working under him, whether they are going to be riders as well or any rider like character. We don't know yet. He only just mentions them, and um, they seem to be acting like kind of his counsel, or advisors. So maybe we don't know yet. So actually, in this episode, like Toma assumes that Master Logos is the perpetrator of everything that's been happening so far. However, Yuri interjects, saying that no, it's possibly not just him, or it may not be him at all, but these wise men. that we're talking about right now. So it could be that they are in cahoots or working together. So we don't know what's going to happen with them. So we're going to have to look out and watch future episodes for this new development. So in the previous episode, we've seen Legiel exit the series, and with one important or one major villain down, so uh, we are now being set up for a new major villain. So uh, if you guys remember Disaster, well, he's been quite absent for a few episodes already. So we see him kind of return in this episode, although he just stands in the background. And the next major villain that we are kind of being led to, kind of being led to. So the new villain that the show is kind of pushing, kind of pushing us into this direction is Ren, aka Kamen Rider Kenzan. So Disaster has been showing some interest in Ren for quite some time, although it might make sense because when we first see Disaster, he was actually defeated by Ren, and much later, when Disaster returns and fights Ren once more, so he says that, yeah, you're much more on our side, or something like that. So meaning that he sees some sort of a familiarity with Ren, or rather, they have something in common. And Ren is the type of kid who, because he is young, he wants to become stronger so he can prove himself to be at least on par with the other swordsmen, if not even better someday. But uh, Ren has this obsession with becoming strong, and I think Desast wants to take advantage of that. Maybe because he kind of relates to that. I'm not really sure. But again, a spoiler for episode 28. The Fusoken is sealed by Kurayami. Although, strangely enough, after being sealed, so Ren was still able to keep his transformation because the Fusoken, as we know, is composed of two swords actually. Although they can combine into one, but like I said, uh, only one, only half of the sword is sealed, and it's the side that doesn't have the slot for the Wonder Ride book. So meaning that as long as the other half, the one that has the Wonder Ride book slot, is still normal, or as long as it's still unsealed, then Ren could still continue on fighting, albeit not in his full potential, or not at 100% capability without the other half of the Fusoken. But I'm not sure what's going to happen with that yet. But otherwise, uh, Disaster seems to be attempting to make his move and probably trying to convince Ren to become stronger. And it may have it may involve Ren becoming another kind of Megiddo, well, much similar to Disaster than probably the other three uh, originals, So someone different from Legiel, Zuos, and Storius. So again, someone more like Disaster. Now, again, speaking of Disaster, so he is technically a Megiddo, but he has his own agenda. That's why he isn't really working with the other three generals, or the other three leaders or commanders of the Megiddo. So whatever you would like to call them. But again, uh, he has his own plans, he has his own objectives, but for whatever objective he has, he's kind of interested in using Ren or he wants to get Ren to help him reach those goals. So the next important plot point is that May could become the next target of the Megiddo pretty soon. Now, if we go back a few episodes, the Megiddo are now uh, trying to look for people who can see the Wonder World. So, much like her boss and other people prior, so there have been people who have shown signs that they can see the Wonder World. Now, just to be clear, in the universe, or in the canon of Kamen Rider Saber, so there are people that are naturally able to see Wonder World. So this actually is very much like what happened, in the origin story that happens kind of 2,000 years into the past. And this is where we get characters like, again, the three original Megiddo, so Legiel, Storius, and Zuos, and even the original Master Logos, or if the Master Logos that we see is the same person, we are not really sure. And we also have Tassel, aka Victor. So more about him in a future video. So stay tuned for that. So again, so those people who have seen Wonder World 2,000 years ago, so now there are people who are kind of similar to them. So again, uh, these people are naturally able to see the Wonder World without the aid of, like, or without anything special happening around, and nothing out of the ordinary, like not involving any swordsman of Logos or any Megiddo, just natural ability. So May starts to see Wonderworld, and I guess people who can see Wonderworld are kind of endowed with some sort of power, or they do have some sort of supernatural ability that I think the Megiddo can sense. So once they find these people, so they will so they will use an empty altar ride book and then turn them into monsters. So again, like the Yeti, or yeah, the Yeti Megiddo, and more recently the Chimera Megiddo. So again, May could be pushed in that direction, and of course, someone is going to have to save her when that happens. So this is kind of like how I'm seeing it. So May gets kidnapped by either Storius or Zuos. Actually, from what I'm seeing, it's Zuos who's going to do this, and it will make sense. So hear me out. So Zuos kidnaps May, having sensed that she is beginning to see the Wonder World, and of course he's going to turn her into a Megiddo herself. Now, this is where Rintaro comes in. So he makes a decision to save her, and probably using whatever new power up he has, and he will start to kind of resonate with the uh, Suiseiken Nagare the same way Toma did with the Kainken Reka. So, so far, only Toma has the ability to actually separate a Megiddo from a human host. So, the other swordsmen probably don't know or don't have this ability. So I'm pretty sure Yuri also has this ability, but for the rest of the swordsmen, maybe not. So again, we can say Yuri and Toma have the ability to separate human host from a Megiddo, and Nintaro, upon discovering that May is going to turn into a Megiddo, will do his best to save her, and again, the Seiken or the Suiseiken Nagare will develop that same kind of ability. So uh, probably that, and in conjunction with whatever new power up Rintaro might be getting along the way, so he will use them in order to save Mei. So you know any Rintaro Mei shippers out there, you probably would be on board with this one. So again, so far that's what I'm seeing, but yeah, it's a very possible direction that we can look into. So as for other stuff, so let's go back to Kento for a bit. So we know that he is on his personal crusade to steal all of the Seikens, the holy swords, and of course, he's going to clash with Toma for this. Now, I do think, I do believe actually that deep down Kento is still a hero, not a villain. Although his beliefs are kind of twisted because of the visions that he saw through the Ankokuken Kunayami. So he sees a future in which the world is in ruins, like Master Logo seems to succeed in collecting all of the holy swords and the Wonder Ride books, and basically gains omnipotence. Like he becomes like a god, and basically puts the world under his control, or ending the world as we know it. So this is why uh, Kento, having changed by what he's seen while hibernating inside the Kurayami, so he plans to seal all of the swords in order to save the world, and now realizes that his father may have been right all along. However, Toma does not buy into that idea, and this becomes more of a clash of ideals than rather than who is evil or who's good. So uh, Kento believes that the future cannot be changed. Yeah, he's pulling Doctor Strange in this one, like he has seen all possible futures, but unlike Doctor Strange, well, he sees no possible future that that the world is saved. At least uh, with Doctor Strange, like all of those 14 million possibilities, he has seen one in which the world and the universe is saved. So, like Kento's version is hopeless, completely hopeless, and here comes Thomas' ideals, saying that no, we can change the future. There is always a way, there's always a possibility. And again, this is basically the source of conflict between them. And this could probably play out in a few more episodes until we get to one important character, Luna. So I could go probably in depth with Luna in a separate video as well. But just to give an overview, so Luna is an important character, at least for what she could potentially be. And Master Logos even has plans for her, because she is kind of able to connect the wonder world and the human world. And once she connects both of them, like probably fusing them into one, this is where this is what probably Master Logos is trying to do, so he can gain all the power that he can. And uh, hopefully we do see Luna being rescued. So whether she retains her childlike form or her child self, or she probably grew up while still being inside that dimensional rift, I would say. uh, she's still alive somewhere, but it's definitely in a dimension between the human world the and Wonder World. So again, Toma probably would be the one to save her, or If not, Toma and Kento. So it's either Toma himself or him and Kento, but not Kento himself, because that would not make sense, because Toma is the main character, so he should be the one to do it again, by himself or with Kento. Okay, now I'm just talking in circles here. So, like I said, Luna could become also become the catalyst for Toma and Kento reconciling their differences. Now, I would say that uh, like Luna should probably be uh, she would probably share the same beliefs as Toma, and would be the one to convince Kento to stop whatever he's doing and join Toma instead, so they can change the future without having to seal all of the swords. So that's what's probably going to happen in my book. Now, as for the rest of the riders, they would probably have their swords sealed. I'm just seeing it like uh, Tetsuo and Suzune are out of action because it's sealed. Uh, at least the one half of the Fusoken is is sealed, and probably the next one would be Buster's Dogoken Gekido. So yeah, but probably we will find a way to unseal these swords, and of course they will be back to action. Hopefully, uh, you know, but because their swords are unsealed once more, uh, I would see that Master Logos would take advantage of it and take it from them one way or another. And you know, as much as I don't want this to happen, but what I'm seeing is that at some point, Master Logos will succeed in collecting these swords, these Sakians, these holy swords, and even the Wonder Ride books. But Toma will find a way to stop him at the last minute, like before uh, he actually completes his goal, uh, or or the worst case scenario does happen, but through some kind of miraculous event, uh, Toma may find a way to reverse everything. I'm kind of getting the Kamen Rider build vibes here, not gonna lie. So, uh, like, if you guys remember, uh, basically, Evolto kind of succeeds in his plan, but thanks to the Pandora's box, build, Sento was able to reverse the catastrophe, and probably it's not actually reversing, but turning it around in a direction, like not really like going 180, but like not taking a U-turn, but like going in a definitely different direction, like which basically meant creating a new world. So if you know they literally take a page out of Kamen Rider Build's book, I think the same could happen with Kamen Rider Saber. Yeah, I'm now looking so far ahead into the future, like we're in the end game. So because basically we're at the halfway point of the show. You know, let's say if we assume that the Kamen Rider Saber is going to have like 50 episodes or something, yeah, we're definitely halfway there. And again, all these plot points that I've mentioned now, this isn't assured yet, okay? These are all just my ideas, but uh, of course, I'm willing to wait for any official announcement from Toei. I'm waiting for the few next episodes, like what's going to happen. Are we going to be right? Are we going to be wrong? Or are we going to be surprised with something different, like completely different from what we would expect? So yeah, I guess I've said everything that I think I have to say for now. So, what do you guys think? So, again, I am very sorry for the spoilers. Uh, Episode 28, when it comes out, you still should watch it because you will get more detail from that. I'm just stating like an overview of some of those plot points, I guess. But yeah, anyways, thank you so much, guys, for watching. So as always, please do leave a like, comment, share this video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get the latest from JE Fusion. This has been Philip, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.